What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, find it useful, informative, educational, make sure you do hit the like button, as it does really help out the channel, the stream. Make sure you subscribe as well. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel. Free to join. Link to that is at the top of the chat. You can't miss it. There will be discount opportunities there closer to launch date, so make sure you're there so you don't miss out. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Brian, good morning. Hope you're doing good. Karis, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Nanami Spooky. Hope I'm saying that correctly. Probably not, but welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So we had a bit of news yesterday regarding dollar. We did see a bit of movement in the market. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Bit of wicks up and down. Altogether, dollar really didn't do too much. If you take a look at the DXY, I left you guys on the stream around here. This is when price was breaking to the upside there in the 4-hour and the hourly, but since then we've been relatively sideways. So the analysis still stands for dollar. I'm still looking for us to find a high and then continue to the downside. I'm very much looking for Euro USD longs, Pound USD longs, Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar a little bit here, but I'll discuss those shortly. And gold, I'm still looking for longs as well. But I do want to see kind of this action happen regarding the DXY. I've marked out a nice little level here, which would be nice for a retest before we do see that lower high. But I can see that dollar is starting to struggle a little bit, so maybe we don't quite get there. But I'm looking at pairs like Euro USD. I wouldn't mind one more drop to the downside. We've been having so much fun in this descending channel. I'm kind of looking for one more push, and hopefully the buys come into action. High time frames still look really, really good to me. Really nice swings at play. This is the fib I'm looking at from the low to the high. There we go. We've got the 50% just below us there. So it would be nice if price can come and test that, but we shall see. The idea still remains the same. Looking for buys around the 1.1 level, and then hopefully you can swing it back to the high. So that's still the number one opportunity for me. Gold right now, though, is testing. Oh, damn, it's actually closed below. Last time I was looking at gold were around here-ish, but it looks like we just had a pretty strong close below. I mean, if gold does come back above, then I'm looking for my entries. But yeah, that was a pretty bearish candle. I know silver is dropping pretty hard, so it looks like gold is kind of following suit. But yeah, if gold does break underneath or at least continue underneath, and that will put a bit of a damp on my bullish intentions here, because if you do break through that level, then I'll kind of hold back on gold. Maybe we're coming back to some of these areas for a buy, but that was never really the setup or the idea I was interested in coming into the week. It was either the retest of this area, or price was very bullish when we got the break and retest of this area, then I'll look for the buys. Of course, on the flip of that level, but it looks like price is trying to break underneath. I'm not going to rule anything out just yet, because we could see price shoot straight back up, but I have to admit that's a pretty strong close, and I wouldn't be surprised if the next full hour just continues. So we'll see what happens there with gold. I know silver has already been falling out the sky a little bit there. Again, I'm looking to buy silver, but I don't have a bullish setup just yet, so I'm kind of just keeping an eye on silver, seeing how price moves. I don't really have anything that will trigger me into a trade or any levels that we're looking to buy from. At the start of the week, it was this area, but we just broke through that early this week and kind of left that level in the dust a little bit. So now that we've broken through that, I'm kind of on the sidelines a little bit. Still looking for a big swing, but I don't have a setup to get involved with just yet. But yeah, gold and silver looking pretty bearish, I must admit. Morning, Sculpey. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good, bro. Welcome. Tashi, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Follow the trend. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. And Keba, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Good morning. Ben, good morning. Hope you're well. Sell limit on GJ at 191.2. got swerved by 0.8 pips, then a dump. That is painful. That is painful, my friend. Yeah, the market can be cynical like that sometimes. 0.8 pips, that's no joke. You can understand if it missed it by like a good 10 pips. You're like, fair enough, wrong area, but 0.8, you don't wish that on anyone. But yeah, I mean that's the life of the market sometimes. But the analysis played out pretty well. It was a nice little retest. Pat yourself on the back for that. But yeah, it's just unluckiness really. There's not much you can say. It's not like, okay, I should have moved my entry 0.8 pips below to get triggered. That's just trading sometimes, unfortunately. As what is up? Hope you're well. GJ trades playing out nicely. Yeah, we did see that retest happen. Fortunately, Ben just missed out on that. But it was a lovely move to the downside. It just about retested that area. You can see by that 4-hour wick. So it's kind of more of a trade, maybe in the 30 or 15 minute. I'm not too sure. Let me know what time frame you were looking to trade it on or did trade it on. This is the 15 minute. That was a really nice rejection down the 15, which closed around 1:45 p.m. UK time. So nice little rejection there. And there was a rejection there early in the morning as well, but it came up for a second time. And after that, really nice dump to the downside. But yeah, GJ gave us a really textbook fake to the upside there. So naturally expecting price to continue the range. That's what I like about fake outs, because once they do the fake out, it's like there's a high probability chance that the market's now going to move in the opposite direction. Of course, nothing's 100%. So nothing's 100%, but there's a good probability if that is a fake out, then the market now is going to move in the opposite direction. So that you're pretty textbook, because everyone who had stops above the high here have already been stopped out. So it's done its job. Now you should see the continuation. So it was a really nice retest, and the market has been looking pretty bearish. We've come back into the low here, struggling a little bit, but I would expect us just to make our way back down to the 189 area, which is kind of the low of the range for me. And then we'll go from there. Maybe we find support and push back up again. Who knows? That's the thing about the range. We can continue to fluctuate between the low and the high for ever how long price wants to, until we eventually get the actual breakout, which I thought it was this move here, but of course it wasn't. So we'll see what price can do at the low. I still do expect a bit more downside. CAD broke back inside the range. This one didn't give us a retest though. You can see we had the prior fake out over there. This was another fake out we just saw. During the stream yesterday, we were kind of trading at the level. So it was either price was going to use that support to continue higher or break back in. Of course, we can see it's broken back inside the range. So equally with CAD expecting a push to the lower end of the range. This one, I'm not too sure. Yeah, I don't know. Depends if you're on the ball or not. Looking for the retest of that low, kind of did retest it there. Sort of. So maybe you can look at that as a retest, but not as clean as pound yen for sure. But yeah, nice move to the downside, and probably going to go and test 106,500 now of CAD yen. The yen pairs were pretty bearish. The yen pairs were pretty bearish. Some more than others. Euro yen pushed to the low. It's testing the low end of the range now. Dollar yen took a dive. Aussie yen took a dive. Swiss yen took a dive as well. Well, not really actually. But yeah, yen pairs were definitely bearish yesterday. Okay, where were we? Gareth, good morning. Hope you're well. Stopped out long on gold, UJ and Aussie going long. How are you finding the markets after a slow August? Well, from September, it's moving a little bit. Because we had the first on Sunday, so second Monday. So I mean, this week so far, I can't complain too much. I've been focused on Euro USD. It's been slowly moving to the downside, how I want it to be really. If it could speed up a little bit, that'd be nice. But it's moving how I want it to. Pound USD equally so is moving how I want it to do as well. I think there's a nice zip about the markets. The yen pairs are moving pretty well since September has turned. August had its moments, but pretty flat as well. But yeah, so far the week or the month, you could say, started off pretty nicely, but Hopefully that momentum can sustain. Euro USD almost at my area. If it can kind of continue that corrective nature back to that level, that'd be great. And then hopefully we can see a swing like we did over there late August. I will go through gold and dollar yen and Aussie as well. Gold needs a little pullback for fresh buyers. I think starting to look very exhausted here at the moment. I agree, but it was a pretty strong candle close on the 4 hour, which I don't like on gold. Because looking at how prices previously reacted with this level, price has been pretty consistent with the wicks. You can see yesterday, nice little wick there. A few weeks ago, nice little wick there. And when we were using it as resistance, a lot of wicks there as well. So I like the fact when markets come into a level, wicks into it, and then then rejects. That's for me is a really nice confidence that the market is holding that area and likely to reverse. When I see candle closures like this, it's more of a sign that momentum's still intact and we could potentially break through. I wouldn't say the break is confirmed yet. I would want to see price, really push through, because I've seen many times where we just pinch the low and price shoots back up again. So I'm not going to rule that out just yet. But the candle closure isn't giving me a whole lot of confidence, I must say. I'm still very bullish on gold, so I'm only going to be looking at buying opportunities. And if we do kind of redeem this level, see a nice candle closure back up again, I'll be looking for my entries to take it back to the upside. However, if we start breaking through, that makes it a little bit awkward for me, because I don't really have setups I'm looking at. Maybe we're coming back to retest some areas down here around 24.30. That could be what gold is looking to do. But these are the two levels I was interested in this week, still am. So if we do break through, I'm going to kind of take the back seat and maybe just see what gold does for the rest of the week. But yeah, I still am bullish on gold. If we can give me some price action here, something that tells me that price is now holding the level again and we're looking bullish, then I'll look for my entries. But now I'm just going to see how this next 4 hour candle does close. But I am looking for buys still, though. Morning, Anis. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I have a bearish. You turn bearish on gold for now. Okay. I mean, intraday definitely would be looking pretty bearish with that momentum there. It hasn't quite cleared my level cleanly yet, so I wouldn't say I'm bearish. I mean, even if it does break to the downside, I wouldn't be bearish anyway, because I'm purely looking at gold from a swing point of view. So even if it does break lower, I'll still be looking for opportunities to buy. But on an intraday level, of course, there will be some opportunities to short. I'm just expecting the bigger move still to be to the upside. So that's why I'm going to continue to look for buys. Good to hear. Skull be back in the office. How's things? Not too bad. I mean, very, very busy my end, so I haven't been active on the markets as much as I want to be. I mean, in fairness, there's been a few setups that have been a bit awkward for me, just missing out my level a couple times for euro. I missed a nice buy and gold last week. No, not last week, the week before on this area here. So yeah, been pretty busy, but the markets haven't been particularly kind either, I must say. Okay, so I'll go through gold, I'll go through UJ, I'll go through Aussie dollar as well. Gold 30 minutes possible buy zone, okay, on the lower time frames as well. Good morning, Chris. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Long time no see. Hope you are doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Welcome back. Hope I haven't missed a lot. The new room looks very nice. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're sorting out the room for elevating traders. This is not the finished product, but we've been moving some things around. It's looking not too shabby. But yeah, not the finished product just yet. Good morning, Dark Sean. Welcome to the stream. Got excited after the news, but once again, USD disappointed. Still holding my pound USD sell, but dragged my stop loss way lower. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's looking a lot more corrective now, I must admit, for pound USD. I'm still looking for the push back down to the 1.304, 305 area. So I'm still very much looking for the buys then and hoping that your trade can kind of follow through, because I know your target's in the similar area. But yeah, it's very, very corrective. I've marked out this descending channel where price has been pretty consistent with these lower highs. It does look like price is trying to break out of that, so I can see where your worries have come from, because it does look like price is trying to break higher. So maybe moving your stop loss way low is probably a good call for now. But yeah, we've been pretty consistent with the lower highs. As long as price can keep that up, then I would be looking for that 1.3, 1.305 area. If, of course, price starts to break out and especially takes out these highs, then yeah, maybe pound USD is going to be looking bullish for the rest of the week at that point. And it looks like price is trying to break out right now. I'm not quite convinced because the candlesticks aren't quite meaningful. This price action is pretty sideways, and it's probably waiting for the US session to get going. Whether it's going to push lower, push higher is yet to be seen. But yeah, we've already seen some signs that maybe the market does want to push up higher. So yeah, I think trading a stop loss a little bit closer to price is making a lot of sense to me. I'm still waiting for this area, but I'm not too sure if it will happen. Euro, still keep an eye on that there as well. And Pavinator, I hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Aussie dollar we'll take a look at. Entered into Aussie dollar. I assume that is that a buy or a sell? Let me know. Sculpey. We have a trend line that lines up with the 50 EMA on gold 4 hour. Okay, I'll go take a look. Yes, we do have elections coming up. We tend to see volatility in the market in such times. Very, very true. When is the elections? Can someone give me a date? I know is it November? Not too clued up with the US elections. But yeah, that is fast approaching, and it's going to be an interesting time when that does go ahead. The market should see a lot of movement, which would be exciting, but also scary at the same time. Anyway, what pairs are we going to look at? Gold, UJ, Aussie dollar, and then I'll take a look at another currency pair. Forget which one. But yeah, in terms of gold, again, the bias is still very much long. I just want price to stay above this 24.80-75 level, and then I'm still going to be looking to long. Okay, I think I see the 4 hour bullish trend line you're on about. I assume it's maybe this one you're talking about, Sculpey. If not, let me know. From the low here around 2300, connecting these dots there. Maybe price is going to be attracted to that area there as well before we do see a bounce. That might line up with some resistance here on the left as well. So that could be a decent little setup there. I wouldn't be against that at all, 2440. That could be where price does move to if it doesn't hold this level here. So that could be an area of interest for some swings on gold. Yeah, I'm not bearish at all, so I'm not going to be looking for any sells. It's just buys really, unless something drastic changes, of course. But I'll only be looking for buys. Two areas ourselves are interested this week. Looks like we failed to break that one, and looks like this one is about to break. So if it does continue down, then 2450, 2445 is the next big area. This daily level here, which lines up with that trend line Sculpey just pointed out as well. So maybe that's the area to send gold to the moon. Still very bullish though. I think fundamentals still look good. Technicals still look good. Maybe we're just going to have a deeper pullback, collect some more buys before we make our way higher. Okay, so what's up, William? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Can we do gold? A lot of people talking about gold. So yeah, as I said, I'm not a big fan of this 4 hour candle closure. You can see every candle before that always printed wicks into the zone, which was good as a sign that the price was respecting that level, likely to turn from that level. But with this 4 hour candle closure, it's kind of just given us a very strong close. It hasn't closed like we did over here, which was just a very confident candle closure above the level. That was a clear sign of a breakout. Here it's kind of like 50-50 because we could easily push back inside. So I'm kind of waiting for the next 4 hour to give me a bit more information whether that remains bearish and we bleed, or we kind of find support and push right back up again. Either way, it would tell me which, what price is likely to do next, whether breakout or respect that level. But if it does break the low, then 24.50, 24.45 would be the next, big area for gold. So if you're looking to long, that's probably the area you want to keep a very close eye on. Should we break through this 24.80 area or 70? So yeah, but I'm still expecting gold to push up. I think as long as we maintain these higher lows here, that is still very bullish price action to me. If you start breaking through that, then of course I'll rethink things. Anywho, where were we? We'll go through UJ and then we'll take a look at Aussie dollar as well. Okay, he moves G stop loss to break even, makes sense. Then we'll follow through on the dollar. We might just be waiting for NFP. Very true. I mean, it's Wednesday already, so I wouldn't be surprised. Is there any major news or major-ish news between now and NFP? Or is NFP the next big one? Okay, Wednesday, we got Jolts. Okay, Jolts might do something. Oh, we got Bank of Canada interest rate decision. I completely forgot about that. Of course, that's for Canada, not for USD, but that still could cause a bit of noise on the Canadian side of things. So I definitely would keep an eye out for that if you're looking to trade Canada today. Trade Canada, the Canadian dollar. That is at 2:45 UK time, about 4 hours from now. But we've got Jolts for USD this afternoon at 3 o'clock. That could cause a bit of movement. Tomorrow, jobless claims, PMI. That might move the market a little bit. And of course, Friday we've got NFP. So yeah, might see a bit of movement between now and then. But yeah, of course, the big one is going to be NFP, of course. Okay, so I'll go through dollar yen. Don't know where I was going there. Okay, so yeah, dollar yen did see some downside. I was not looking for this move this week, I must admit. I was looking for price to break higher this week past this point, and then I was looking to see if I can do something like that to trade it back into the high, because the original plan for dollar yen was looking to see if we can come back into the low. We failed to do that. We had a nice descending channel. Price broke out of that. So after that happened, I flipped the bias. I said, if you can break through this, I've been looking for the retest to take it to the upside. But that never happened as well. So it's been a bit awkward to trade, at least for myself, for dollar yen. It looks like price is printing another low high. Maybe we are going to continue back to that low there. If you're looking to short, this is not a bad zone for that. It's been really nice support resistance for dollar yen for quite a while. As we can see, really nice support there, flipped as resistance. Another good job there as well. So if you're looking for entries, stop loss above that high is not a bad place at all. And targets back at that low or that low do make a lot of sense. It does look like the yen pairs are seeing a bit of weakness. It depends with USD, what USD is going to do, but it does look like the yen pairs are seeing a bit of weakness. GJ, that's seen some nice downside. I do think we can go a little bit lower. CAD Yen, expecting that one to go a little bit lower, back into the low end of the range. New Zealand yen has broken out of this ascending channel, so that has a lot of room to the downside. Euro yen has a lot of room if it does get the breakout. If not, of course, it could just very much rally to the upside. We shall see what that one does. Dollar yen we just spoke about. AJ as well, back at the low of the range. This one could potentially see a push back to the high. Or if it does get the breakout, again, we've got a lot of room to run into. Swiss yen expecting a push into the low end of the range. So that one does have a bit of room to run into as well. But you can see a lot of the yen pairs are kind of ranging or playing within a range. So although we've seen some nice momentum over the past couple of days, hasn't really set the world alight yet. Okay, so I'll go through Aussie dollar. Okay, so you're going to buy Pavinator. We'll take a look at that one as well. Pound NZD is really testing my patience. Okay, OP, we'll take a look at pound NZD as well. If I have missed out a pair, just let me know in the chat. Okay, November 5th. Need to put that in the old diary. If Harris wins, the world markets will collapse, I tell you. That'll be interesting to see. Maybe not so much interesting. Took a buy yesterday, woke up and lost position when I woke up. It happens, my friend. It happens. It happens. Yeah, that's kind of the downside about swing trading, I must say. When you take a swing trade and then you wake up in the morning, you've been stopped out. It's not the best way to start the day, I must admit. Sometimes it's best to kind of not check your charts until you get to your desk or wherever you trade from, and kind of give yourself good at least 30 minutes in the morning before you do check everything. Of course, easier said than done, especially when you've got a position on, you want to see how it's doing, and maybe the suspense is killing you a little bit. I know I can relate to that as well. But then again, on the flip side, it's a great way to wake up when you see prices well into profit or you've been taken out for a TP. Of course, it's a great way to start the day as well. But yeah, it happens. It happens. As long as you took the trade for the right reasons, you can't really complain. Okay, so we'll go through Aussie dollar. Pavinator, said you're in the long. So Aussie dollar is an interesting one. It has come back into a really nice level. The daily candle closure yesterday was a real hitter. Big candle there off that high. But I do think this is a nice place for a long. I was keeping an eye on the 4 hour to see how the candles close. Hasn't really given me too much confidence, but I do like it to the upside as we've come into this low here. This was a solid support, really nice move to the upside. Kind of looking for the exact same move there again. I was kind of hoping to see somewhat of a bullish engulfing variation, but haven't quite seen that happen yet. Maybe this candle was to close strongly bullish. That could be a nice signal there. On the 4 hour, stops below, and then you've got a nice trade back into the high. And if you want to be a bit more aggressive, there is that 0.686 level just above us, which is this level here. You could trade it to. Could be looking at nice 1 to 3, 1 to 2 potentially risk reward. And that will be a really nice swing trade there for Aussie dollar. Of course, you do want to protect yourself as we get here because the market might push up and come back down. So that would be a nice place to manage the trade. But yeah, I like the buys for Aussie dollar. I think it's a solid level, nice level where price has shown a lot of respect to previously, and looks like we're showing respect to it right now. So I don't mind the buys at all. Where's your targets for the trade, Pavinator? How far are you looking to swing it? Excuse me. How far are you looking to take the trade? Pound NZD, I'll go through next. OP. That one's been a bit awkward for me as well, I must admit. Euro Aussie, we'll take a look. Captain commands you, no problem. Yesterday I took entry, still in profit, still holding deep. GJ was entry. Then I put sell order. Nice. So you're selling pound yen. Pound yen has seen some nice downside. Targets 197. I'm confused. You got two take profits there. 197 for pound yen would be up here, and then another target is 182, which is down there. Oh, do you have like order set for a sell and order set for a buy? So if it does break out higher, that you're looking for 197. If it breaks lower, 182. Okay. I think I understand what you mean. I mean, that's not a bad way to play it since the market is very range bound. Once it breaks out, it should get going. Not really a type of play that I would look for myself, but of course, if that's something that works for you, tried and tested, have at it. Karis, have a question on trading stops for gold. When would you place a trading stop and for how many points or pips? For me, I don't really do it based on pips. I would do it based on price action and based on how things are looking. There's multiple ways to trade a stop loss. You can do it based on discretion. You can do it based on um, monetary value. You can do it based on pip value. You can do it based on risk to reward. If you're floating 2R on profit, you want to trade a stop loss 1R behind it. If you're on 3R on profit, you want to trade it 2R behind it. So there's multiple ways you can trade a stop loss. I feel like if you're just getting into trading and you don't really have a lot of experience with it, I think the best way is just to keep it locked in at risk to reward based or pip based. I'll probably say risk to reward makes the most sense because 20 pips on gold is different to 20 pips on euro. So keep it risk to reward based and get a feel for it. And then once you get a bit more experience, you can use discretion in terms of, because for me, for example, some positions I'll trail a bit more aggressively than others, depending if I'm counter trend, depending what the high time frames are doing, depending on price action as well. Is it ripping in my direction or is it correctively moving in my direction? That will make a decision whether I'm a bit more aggressive with my trail stop, or if it's impulsively, I might give it a bit more room because I know a pullback's going to come soon. So things like that play a big role into how close or how far I will trade a stop. And I think if you're just beginning to get into it, I think just use risk reward. 1R or 2R is a good amount of room to use. And then once you get a feel for it, you can maybe start to add some discretion in. Emmy, good morning. Hope you're doing good. I am well. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing good as well. Past few days I've been rushing too much, so I've been observed a bit better. Back to basics, less aggressive position from now on. Not a bad starting point there, William. Not a bad starting point. Again, it takes that self-awareness to realize, okay, maybe I've been doing something incorrectly, or maybe I haven't been aware enough or sensible enough of some of my trades or position sizing or whatever you've been doing to realize, okay, need to take a step back and slow things down again. And that's a really important part of trading, really being aware of yourself, because sometimes people will just keep making the same mistake and really dig a hole that it's difficult to get out of. None of us are perfect. We all kind of make mistakes and make errors, but you want to realize very quickly where you're going wrong so you can steer the ship in its in the correct direction. Ben, I've started the display the prices of a few markets. I'm looking at the lock screen. Price of key levels you're looking at, you can see the chart without having to load up the app. It's been a game changer, to be honest. You can just load up the app when you know the price is moving. Not a bad way to look at it. I've never thought about that before, to be honest. I can see it makes sense, to be fair. If you know, okay, 0.67 is where I want to sell from, or is just an area where I'm looking to sell or buy from, then you're kind of waiting for price to get to roughly around that area before you do open your charts. Not a bad idea, to be fair. Again, the idea is to be very streamlined with your trading. You don't want to be on the markets just kind of browsing through like you would browse through, when you're looking at your shopping, when you're looking to buy something. You don't want to be browsing through the markets like that. Not really healthy. You want to be intentful. You want to have conviction with your trading. So, for example, if you know pound yen's on your watch list, you're looking for a retest of this resistance before you sell it, then in theory there's nothing for you to do until we get to that area. Then you can start looking for your opportunities and your entry signals. But before that, there's nothing really to do. So waiting for price to get to that price, or an alert, whatever, is an effective way to make sure you're not having too much chart time. So I do like that. Anyway, we'll go through pound NZD. Let me know what you're looking to do, OP, with pound NZD. I was originally looking to sell pound NZD, but the opportunity didn't really set up how I wanted it to. The idea was I was looking for the next lower high in this bearish sequence here. We have one over there, second over there, third. Was looking for the fourth as we came into this area of confluence, but we had some NZD news early Tuesday morning which caused a lot of weakness for NZD, which caused us to shoot to the moon here. So it has kind of invalidated my short opportunity. So I'm staying out the market. I did say yesterday, however, there could be a nice long opportunity now, because not only have we broken through the trend line, we've broken through the resistance. This, of course, will be flipped as support, and this could get us to move back to the high here, which we're not quite there yet, but I would kind of expect us to keep pushing back to resistance, and then we can go from there. But yeah, pound NZD, I'm still very bearish on longer term. I'm looking for big moves to the downside, but yeah, the setup I was looking to take advantage of is no longer valid. So it's very much a situation where I'm kind of sitting on my hands and just keeping an eye for pound NZD, because I'm looking to short, but there is no good short opportunity. So there's nothing for me to do really. If anything, the buys make the most sense right now. Off the retest of that low, we kind of saw a brief one there on the lower time frames yesterday. But yeah, pound NZD, let me know what you're looking at. I'm still looking to short. I think we'll probably go for a bigger pullback now and then another swing, something similar to what we did over there. And then maybe I can talk about some shorts later on, but nothing for me at the moment. Euro NZD was a pretty big move, not quite at that area yet. That keeps going. That'll be very nice for a short. Euro Aussie, I was looking for some shorts yesterday. This one broke through my area as well. No entry signal, so I didn't take any shorts, which kept me out of a losing position. But yeah, that one's made things a little bit awkward now. Still am looking for a big move to the downside, but yeah, no entry there for me. And then pound Aussie actually broke to the upside here. I'm looking to short pound Aussie. So yeah, not something I want to be seeing. Maybe it's a big fake out. Who knows? If you do close back inside, that could be a really nice short in the retest. Similar opportunity to what we saw on pound yen. Nice little retest there. We could see that happen with pound Aussie. So, people looking to take advantage of that pound yen trade, maybe keep an eye on pound Aussie as well, because it's pretty much the same setup if it were to break back inside the range. And then you've got some nice clean shorts back to the low. But yeah, regarding those pairs, apart from, I would say, Euro NZD, it's been a bit awkward to trade. Okay, so I'll go through. Okay, I just went through Euro Aussie. Let me know what you're looking to do, Captain Commandsy, with Euro Aussie as well. Okay, you're looking for 67943. I guess that's for Aussie dollar. 67943, 67943. Okay, it's pretty much back to the high. So yeah, that's a pretty sensible target in my book. Yeah, I would be looking for something similar. I might actually look to take the buys on Aussie dollar if that's a nice closure for me at 2 p.m. When that candle does close. It closes in the next 3 hours. So if it does close convincingly, strong close, I will actually look for some entries there for Aussie dollar to take it higher. I like where we're trading. As I've said, I'm pretty bearish on the USD. I see this falling. It hasn't quite hit my area yet, but I'm starting to doubt whether we will get there or not. It does look like the market is really struggling at this area, consolidating on the lower time frames. Potentially price might just kind of drop without the retest. So Aussie dollar might be the best opportunity I have to ride that move. So I might be looking to join you. Not as good of entry because I'll be using the 4 hour, but yeah, pretty much looking at the same trade. USD, I was keeping an eye on this one, but it did break underneath that level, so I'm no longer interested in USD longs unless it was to start trading back above. But this one broke underneath yesterday, so staying on the fence. Okay, gold is shooting back up again. See, that's what I meant with that candle closure. It wasn't that convincing. Really strong candle closure, but it only just about pinched the low. And even that is subjective really as well. So if it does come back above, I will look for some entries. But of course, if this is just a retest for price to keep falling down, then of course, yeah, I'll be staying out of the market. But yeah, gold is trying to push up here. We'll see how successful it is. but it's making a comeback a little bit. How's silver doing? Silver's trying to fight back, but yeah, I don't have a set up for silver anyway. So I need to keep an eye on gold as well. No problem, Keris. Happy to help. Sunny Euro USD, I'm waiting for daily 50% fib retracement. I'm looking for a similar opportunity as well. Hey, appreciate it, Chris. If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you do drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. It does really help out the channel, of course. And if you hit the bell, you won't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future, because of course you will be notified. But I appreciate that message there, Chris. Pound USD 130.25 buys. Thoughts? Okay, I'll go through euro and then I'll take a look at pound. What's up, Manzoni? Welcome to the stream. Hope I didn't miss UJ Daily Outlook. Haven't looked at it on the daily, so I will go over that quickly for you. In Keba, Euro NZD, okay, a bunch of pairs to look through. I'll go take a look at Euro USD and pound first quickly. So yeah, the bias is very much to the upside for euro. This is the setup I've been talking about since last week. Not too far away, you know. If we do see one more sell off, which I don't know, maybe the news this afternoon might help us with. But I am looking for the swing back to the high. So the risk reward is looking really good. If the buy does pull through, the risk reward is looking pretty good. If it does get back to the high, I do think we can go a little bit higher as well. This is actually where my swing target would be for euro, back at 1.125. This high here, but again, a trade back to the swing high there is still a great trade in itself. So there's a lot of upside potential here for euro. You can see the high lows the market's been printing. All I'm looking to do is find the next one. Retesting this area would be great. Someone mentioned the 50% Fibonacci retracement on euro. You know, this is the fib I think you've drawn on as well. So we've got the low to the high there. The 50% is just about here. So again, that would be nice if price can have one more dive down, tag the 50 as well. That'd be fantastic. And then we can look for some entries to take euro up around the 1.1 area. And yeah, looking for that big swing. Because with the dollar, I'm looking for the same thing really, just from this area here. So that's the setup I'm looking at for the dollar. I'm just not too sure we will see one more move higher. If it happens, great. If not, then maybe the high is already formed and maybe we start selling off from there. But either which way, this is the swing I'm eyeing up for dollar. So I'm only going to be looking for opportunities that kind of favor that. Pound USD, I'm looking for the same thing as well. Although pound is slightly further away from my zone. This is the zone I'm looking to buy from. You can see we've been moving pretty swiftly in this descending channel on the way down. Yeah, it's looking like we're trying to break to the upside. I'm not quite convinced yet. I think we'll see what happens this afternoon. But it looks like price is trying to break higher. If so, then maybe pound is going to get going. If that's the case, then it's probably another mistrade for myself. Not to worry though, because Aussie dollar looks good and gold looks good. So I probably, if these set up, then I probably will get my trade for dollar anyway. So I'm not too bothered about that. But it looks like pound is trying to break higher here. Yeah, if that's the case, that'll be missed position for me. If it doesn't break high and it does fall over one more time, fantastic. I'm looking for buys from this 1.30400 level. And then hopefully we can take it back to the swing high again. Pretty much a carbon copy of the Euro USD trade. And then, yeah, back to the swing high. This one doesn't quite have the fib confluence though. If I do draw the fib from the low to the high, you can see the 50 is much lower down. I'm not too worried about that because the market's been so bullish. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, we'll see. I think it's already tested 0.382. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with euro and pound. William, you said 130.25. Where is that? 130.25. Okay, so that's pretty much my area. I assume the bullet point is a few positions to the right there. So yeah, 130, 250 is where you're looking to buy from, which is this high here. So yeah, pretty much the same spot as me. The same spot as me. So hopefully we can see pound USD test that area, and then we can look at some entries. Euro NZD we'll take a look as well. Oil, Samuel, no problemo. I risk $400 Aussie, so we'll get a $100 profit if it hits that. Okay, where's your stop loss then, Pavanator? So you're risking $400 to get 100. So you're looking at 0.25 risk reward there. OP was looking for shorts on both pound NZD and pound Aussie. Likewise, I was as well. And I'm adamant to change my bias to long, so I'll just be patient. Yeah, I mean, again, that's the thing with price action and calculating where the market could end up. It's normally best when things are not clear just to wait for more price action, wait for more information, and you have more clarity where you expect the market to go to next. I'm still pretty bearish. Maybe the market is looking to turn bullish. For that to happen, I need price to start breaking through these highs over here and then start giving me some higher lows to work with. Then I could say, okay, I'm looking to long. Maybe pound Aussie is going to be breaking higher. If that's the case, then we'll start to see some breakouts, retests, and continuations. And maybe we're going to push to the wick high there on the left. So there's room to the upside for both of them. But due to my analysis on the higher time frames, I do still see them moving down longer term. So I'm not going to be quick to change my bias. Of course, I could be wrong. If I am wrong, then I'll wait for more price action. As things develop, I'll turn around with it. But yeah, I mean, I can see some nice longs there for pound Aussie, pound NZD, really. Something like that looks like a nice buy. More of a kind of shorter term trade. I wouldn't try and hold it for too long. Back to the highs here or back to this high here, I think makes a lot of sense. I mean, I say shorter term trade, but that's still a 200 pip move. So yeah, I like that for pound NZD. But long term, I'm still interested in some sells. But I'll see as things develop. As you said, stay patient. As we get more price action, more candlesticks, we can reanalyze if we need to and change the bias. Chris, yes, I will go check oil for you. No problem. Oil minus 5% day yesterday. I haven't actually looked at oil, to be honest. So I'm interested to see it now. Stop loss 0.66860. And we're going to have a quick peep at that. 6686. Okay, so that's pretty much just underneath that low. Okay, yeah, that's probably where I'd put my stop loss as well. And you said your entry was 67085. Okay, so your risk reward's pretty good then. The entry's around here, your stop loss is around there, and your target's around 679, around there. So that's nice 1 to 3. I think you probably missed the zero there with your, because you said you risk $400 to get 100. If you're risking $400 here, then you're looking at 1,200 back to the high. So I think you meant to say 1,000. But yeah, I think the risk rewards looking pretty good there. Pretty good. Anyway, so I'll go through oil, UNSD, then we'll take a look at oil. So yeah, with Euro NZD, I'm very bearish on this one. Breakout buy for around 1.7819. Yeah, I'm pretty bearish on Euro NZD, I must admit. I know it's been bullish over the past few days, which is this move here. but I'm very much looking to sell it if it was to get back into 1.806. This is actually where I said I was looking to sell, I think probably 2 or 3 weeks ago when we had the original breakout there. It never had the retest, unfortunately, kind of left without me. But if price does want to move up there, I'm not against it. I will still be looking for the same opportunity to see if I can short it and take it back down again, back into the low here, and eventually the low down there. You said you're looking to buy around 1.7819. 7819, 7819. Okay, that's around there-ish. Take profit 79258. So this is a bit more of an intraday position. 79258, 79258, 258. Okay, that's around there-ish. Yeah, there's not much I can say on that. I mean, the market has been trending pretty well intraday to the upside here. Of course, you can see the push, pullback. So I don't mind that. But the sell I'm looking for, there's a lot, and I'm sure with your opportunity there is too. There's a lot of confidence and logic behind it. If there is logic, reason, plan behind the trade, and of course, do you need to do? I'm not really seeing too much with it. All I'm seeing is a nice move down, nice move back up. Price isn't necessarily coming to a big area of interest for me. I know it kind of taps into this area here, but nothing of crazy significance in terms of the location of where we're trading. I can see there is a nice trend here, but that's about it. So intraday, I kind of would see more upside, but I'm kind of just waiting to see if we get there or not. If we do, great. If we don't, my attention will drift to other pairs. In fact, I'm not really focused on USD at all right now because still a long way away. But yeah, I don't mind it. You're kind of taking advantage of that intraday momentum. But yeah, that's about it. I'm not really seeing too much there for USD. So it's quite a choppy pair, to be honest, which is why I'm making sure I'm shorting from significant areas like so I can get a nice stop loss placement. In terms of oil, apparently oil was very bearish yesterday. Oh, wow. Damn. Yes, it was. That was a big drop. Last time I saw oil, I think it was here-ish. Yeah, as we close for the week, haven't been monitoring oil at all. Yeah, that's a pretty big drop there. Okay, so it looks like oil is probably making its way back to the low here now, because I've been speaking about this triangle pennant pattern, whatever you want to call it. As price has been squeezing in this pattern, we've been getting ready for a breakout, and it looks to be that the market has broken and committed to the downside. So if that's the case, then there's a very high chance we're coming back into the low here, which is around 66, 65, as the next major target for oil. I know we've got support here on the left, but I would expect us to break through that as well and come back and test that low. So in my book for oil, I still do see oil dropping a lot further. I still do see it dropping a lot further. Now that we've broken through some major support here as well, that's always good to see. That, of course, will be flipped resistance and will be a pretty healthy place for a short should we pull back into it. Something like this could be a really nice trade there around 72. And then you're looking for downside at least back into the low. Let's say if we pull back from here, that could be a really nice target. Or if you want to be a bit more optimistic, like I said, there is that low down there. But yeah, looks like oil's committed to the downside here. So I'm looking at 66 now for oil. I'm looking at 66 now for oil. Interesting move there. I was not keeping an eye on oil, so that move there is news to me. But yeah, that to me is a really big statement there, because we were kind of wicking back and forth. It looked at one point that the market was going to continue back to the high, but then last week's candle printed the big wick to the upside and closes a bearish shooting star, and now we've just seen that momentum just spill over into this week big time, and a solid break of that support level there on the daily is just the cherry on top there. So yeah, I'll be expecting oil to continue its path back down to 66, 65. And if you're looking to trade it, sales look the best bet. I know there's some support here. There could be some short-term buys, but I would only be interested in taking oil lower. That's a pretty big move there. So yeah, hopefully that made some sense. Simbonello, what is up? Don't forget that this month quarterly candles closing. That is true as well. Damn, really coming to the final quarter of the year. Time flies. I mean, when it leaves a wick on top, price will sell on lower time frames, so don't buy too much. Yeah, I mean that's the theory with pretty much every candle really. When it does close, it's going to leave a bit of a wick, so you would expect to see a bit of retracement. Of course, that is not all the time, but it's a law on average because sometimes you do see candles close with minimal wick to the upside or to the downside. But in general, you will see wicks on average, so that's a good point to make as well. Chris, okay, Bitcoin will take a look too. Lapara, good morning. Hope you're well. Shorts on Euro. I'm very bullish on Euro. Not looking to short it. I mean, intraday, there might be some downside, but nothing that would interest me really. I've marked out this kind of descending channel, so I can see why you'd be looking to short intraday. We've come back into the high there. Could see another sell-off. In fact, I actually want that to happen because I want to buy from this level here. So if we do sell off again, that's great for me because it means my setup's probably actually going to come into life. But yeah, it's not a trade setup that I would be looking to trade myself, but it does make a lot of sense there if we are going to continue this descending channel. So I do like Euro shorts as long as it's intraday. From a swing, I do see more upside. Okay, so we'll go through Bitcoin. Demand dropping for oil recession. But recession's been coming. But yeah, I would agree as well. Shorting oil has been my buy, so I'm waiting for the setup. Wicked. Whereabouts are you looking to sell oil from? Do you have a level in mind, or you just kind of keeping an eye on price? Oil yearly candle just flipped bearish as well. Could be a sign of more downside. Interesting. It did just flip bearish. Of course, we still got the rest of the year left, so who knows how it's going to close. But yeah, it did just flip bearish, didn't it? Bit of an awkward time frame, that one. Quarterly. See, if the quarterly does close like that, you wouldn't be so against a break of that low there. Break of that low and price kind of just open up the floodgates and seeing a big move down. As we saw this price move up, bit of consolidation there, big push to the upside, back down again, consolidation. Could see a drop like that incoming. It's kind of like a variation of a head and shoulder pattern, if you will. There's kind of your left shoulder here, your head up there, your right shoulder. And that kind of would be your neckline. I could see that breaking and then oil really dumping. But again, that's a bit more speculation because I don't think anyone here is going to be trading the quarterly chart for oil. That move there could take 6 months pretty easily to develop. So there's a lot of time to go. But at least from a daily perspective, downside looks likely anyway. So I think shorts look good. But yeah, it's not looking good for oil, I must admit. It's not looking good. All right, no problem, William. Have a good one, my man. Take care. We'll chat to you tomorrow. Don't forget to like and sub. Appreciate it, my man. If you guys are enjoying the stream, finding it useful, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe. It really does help out. Okay, where was I? Thoughts on pound NSD. Okay, I'll quickly run through that one. I was looking to exit exactly before that level, looking to buy. Okay, yeah, if you're looking for intraday shorts on euro, I agree. It looks like a nice opportunity. I'm looking for the swing, so that's the move I'll be focused on. But yeah, from a day trading point of view, there is room. There is room for us to run. OP, I'm looking at euro pound. Don't know if you talked on it. No, I haven't mentioned euro pound today yet. I will go through that. On the full hour, there's a big rejection at the moment, so I'm keeping an eye. Okay, talking about oil. Yeah, I mean, I would want to see a bit more. I think that's the rejection you're talking about. I want to see a lot more upside. At least come back into the low there. That is a very poorly drawn line, but I know you guys know what I mean. At least come back and retest some lows before we get some shorts. But it's a solid break. Hefty candles breaking lower. This isn't a breakout where you're like, is it a breakout? This one is really committed. Of course, it still could potentially be a fake out. Nothing is 100%. Even with a breakout like this, we could do something like that possibly. But the odds for me do lie with the bears and something like that happening. Might not even get the retracement. Price might just consolidate and then drop. That could be the reality as well. Anyway, we'll go through pound entity. We'll take a look at euro pound as well. If I have missed that pair someone's mentioned before, feel free to drop it in the chat again. Of course, it's brutal. I agree. 45. Where's 45? 45. Yeah, I could see that happening as well. Kind of following that move up, following it down again. Massive support in this area here. A push back down there isn't such a crazy prospect. Could see oil make that move. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Back below that high again. So yeah, not looking great for oil long term, I must admit. I mean, it's a very weird chart as well, to be honest. But we've clearly found it really hard to trade at these highs. So it looks like it's going to push down and try and find some more buyers. Anyway, so we'll go through pound NZD, then I'll discuss euro pound as well. Bitcoin, completely forgot about that one. I'll take a look at Bitcoin as well. So yeah, in regards to pound NZD, I did say I was looking for a lower high to develop earlier this week. Unfortunately, it broke higher up. So what I did say is now the buys make a lot more sense, at least from a it's not an intraday trade, is it? At least from a more of a shorter term view, a few days, I feel like there's some nice buy opportunity here. Certainly with the break above 2.115, we smashed through the lower highs there. We haven't really broken structure yet. This is still our last lower high to give us that low, but there is clearly a break of this channel here, and price is now looking very bullish above that level. So if you were to come back down and retest it, I do feel like buys make a lot of sense, at least back to these highs there. And then we'll go from there. Maybe price wants to push back down again, or maybe we do see a bigger reversal and price starts to form a bit of a bullish trend. We'll analyze that when it comes to it. But for now, buys around 2.115 look good to me, and I'll be expecting price to make it back to these highs down the left, 2.128, 2.133. So that's kind of what makes sense to me for pound entity. In terms of euro pound, I like it to the downside. I'm looking for some shorts on this one longer term. I've spoken about the monthly candle closure, really big wick to the upside. You can see here, this is the August candle closure. Massive wick there. Prices pull back down, close bearish. So I do still see price dropping lower and hopefully coming back into some lows here. So that's what I'm expecting for euro pound from a monthly perspective. But at the moment, I can definitely see that we're trading at some support. I do want to see a bit of retracement. So I've got a couple areas I'm looking to sell from. This being one of them. Lovely support there, support, and was resistance there as well. Now this is an area which I'll look to short from. If we don't see a pullback that big, then I'll be looking at some shorts around this area here, 0.845. Stops above the area, and then looking for a push back into the low there. As we can see, lovely resistance over there. Looking for that to hold again. It looks like we're going through a pretty corrected pullback anyway. So hopefully I can get some shorts around that area. So I like euro pound to the downside. As I said, I do see us pushing back down to 0.83, which is this big old level down here. So yeah, I do expect a lot more downside, but at least a push back to that low looks pretty likely. So pull back, hopefully I can get the next lower high. You can see you've been pretty consistent with them. Find the next one, and then Bob's your uncle looking for another move down. If you do have a bigger move up, then 0.85 will be my area of interest. But for now, that's what I'm looking at for euro pound, pullbacks, and then some shorts. I'll go through Bitcoin next. I was supposed to do that a while ago. Completely forgot about it, but we'll go through it. Can I explain gold? Yes, Ravindu. I will take a look at gold for you. No problem. In Keva, Boss Daily, silver made a bearish breakout of the key horizontal 29. Further bearishness for silver, possibly. It's not looking too great, I must admit. I still think there's a lot of upside potential for silver, but how it's moving isn't really showing much promise. So I will go take a look at silver. But yeah, I must admit the buys aren't looking good, and maybe the sells is the way to go. We'll discuss that shortly. First, let me take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, there isn't too much to report on, to be honest. I know we're having a bit of a bearish move here, but as I've been saying in the past 3-4 weeks with Bitcoin, I don't really want to talk too much about Bitcoin until we're back at the low here or back at the high there, because this is where I can find edge. This is where I can find this is where I can understand price and make an educated guess of where the market is likely to move next. Inside here, we're in the middle of the range. It's very difficult to suggest what price is going to do next, especially intraday as well, because there's a lot of fluctuation, there's a lot of indecisiveness in that area. At least when we're at the low, if we're giving us big wicks like this, then there's a very high chance that the market's going to bounce. Therefore, buys make a lot of sense. Likewise, to the upside, if we're going to reject the high like we did here, then we know, okay, there's a good chance the market's going to sell off. And again, we can use that to our advantage. So whilst the market is trading in the middle, I don't want to touch or speak about Bitcoin too much. If we are just going to continue lower, back down to this area, then I can be a bit more use. But what I will say, though, is every time the Bitcoin has bounced from the low, it has made its way back to the upper end of the channel. This is kind of the first time where we have tested the low and we haven't found enough energy to make it to the high. We've come about 3/4 and the market's already starting to fall. So it's a bit of a sign saying, okay, the buys aren't that strong anymore. Sellers are still doing a pretty good job at keeping the market moving bearish, moving sideways or slightly downwards. So as we do approach this area, I think it is still a nice place for a buy. But unless we see some really good rejection, I'd probably hold my horses a little bit. And if you do see a breakout, then there's probably a lot of room Bitcoin can fall into. But at the end of the day, we need price to get there first, and then we see how we're reacting. But yeah, that is an interesting thing to point out, though, that we didn't quite make it to the high. Bitcoin is weakening a little bit. Bob, isn't your uncle? The name's Peter, at least he thinks so. Well, I guess Peter's your uncle in RH's case then. I don't know why I started saying that. I don't normally say that, but I've started saying it recently. I'll probably start saying Peter's your uncle now. Okay, so which pair did I say I'll go through? Is it silver next? What was their pair I said I was going to take a look at before? Pound entity. No, I did pound entity, didn't I? I'm losing my mind. We'll go through silver. If I've missed out a pair, drop it in the chat. Okay, so silver. So yeah, silver looking for a big swing for this one. Back to the high at 31.6. Unfortunately, it hasn't really developed. It hasn't really it hasn't developed how I wanted it to. I was looking for a buy back into the high there, but this is the level I was speaking about at the start of the week, and unfortunately, price has broken through that. So in my book, it does look like price may just continue back to the low here, because this is a high, this is a low, this is a lower high, this is a lower low. Yeah, this looks to me like another lower high in comparison to these prior lows, prior highs there as well. And if we keep this up, we're probably going to end up back at this low here. And I've drawn a big level here at 26. That's a really big level in the weekly chart where maybe silver wants to go and test before we do see that bigger move. I think that makes sense as well, to be honest, because this is a really big level of resistance. We just missed it over there. Let me move that out of the way. You can see we just about missed it over here. So maybe silver wants to go and test that before we do see the bigger move. And that could well be the play that silver is undergoing. But yeah, I think sells make the most sense here. I'm not really for sells. I'm still kind of trying to look for buys, but there isn't nothing there. Structure is pointing bearish now. So me being bullish, I'm kind of just resting on the sidelines here. But you know, something like this would be a nice short off that low there. You can see how well it acted as support in the past. If we can see some rejection there, that can definitely act as resistance well in the future, and could see a nice swing back into the low and then maybe 26, and then we can probably just discuss some longs from then on and see if we can take silver back up. But I do think there is room to the downside. You mentioned you expecting further bearishness, and I think I have to agree with that as well. I think I have to agree with that. It does look likely. The lower highs are printing well, bullish structure is not holding, and support is not holding, most importantly. So yeah, I do think silver's got room to the downside, back to 26.6, and then maybe 26 we can discuss some buys. But that's not a bad setup there for silver. And if we do break back above, then maybe the buys are coming back in, and then we'll reanalyze. But for now, I would anticipate silver rolling over again, as it looks like we just printed another third lower high there. And looks like the market's about to roll over. No problem. Happy to help, Chris. Very helpful. Glad to hear it, my man. Glad that you're finding the streams useful. Tizzy, how am I doing? I'm doing good. Hope you're well. Did you long on gold? I am waiting to long on gold. It's at my level now. Manzondi, I will go for UJ for you. Yeah, I'm looking to long gold from the current level. I just need to see an entry signal there on the 4 hour. The two levels I said I was looking to buy from this week. Oh, look at that. That's a nice little wick there on the daily. Literally, as I start the stream, this candle here was pretty much at its low. But now, of course, the candle's still got 10 hours left before it does close. Still got news later today. That wick could end up filling again. Who knows? The candle could even flip bullish. Who knows? But I must admit the wick is looking pretty nice, because that was my critique of gold. And every time that we came into the zone 2480, the market kept printing really nice wicks, really nice wicks, really nice wicks, really nice wicks. But this candle here gave us a strong closure, so that for me was a bit of a red flag. But I said if we were to come back above, give me a nice entry signal, I will still look for entry, stop loss below. First target back to the high there, but hopefully we can catch the breakout and see if we can let price run it. And maybe if I'm lucky, I might get some additional shorts on the retest of that area there as well. So that is still very much the plan with gold. Not in the trade just yet, but it is trading in my area. So I'm going to see what we can do. Audi's looking okay as well. Nice rejection there. I just need the momentum to sustain. If we can keep pushing up for the next couple of hours, that'll be enough to get me into a position. Hopefully, we'll see how the 4-hour candle closes. Still got a nice 2.5 hours before it does. Maybe I might take the 4-hour candle after that one, but we'll see. How's the 8-hour looking? 8 hours leaving a nice little wick there. It's looking good. It's looking good. Hopefully, we can just keep this up and not start dropping. But yeah, there could be some longs there. How's Aussie dollar looking? Okay. I mean, again, we still got 2.5 hours. Matt's like it's an hourly candle. We still got 2.5 hours before it does close, so it doesn't really make too much difference what it's doing now. The real difference and the important information will be when the candle does close in the next 2.5 hours, and then that will make my decision whether I do get into some longs for Aussie dollar or not. But gold is looking good. Gold is looking good. It's a bit awkward because I'm looking to buy gold, but then I just said that silver looks like it's got a lot of room to the downside. I never like it when that's the case. When I analyze correlated pairs, and then one pair looks really good to buy, and then the other pair looks really good to sell. It's kind of like, okay, one of them is going to be correct, and then one of them is going to be wrong. Which one is it? You don't know. But then again, the mentality I try to have is, if I do take a trade, just make sure it's a good trade. So, if you pick the wrong one and the trade doesn't play out, you get stopped out. Okay, you're not gonna avoid every loss you're gonna take. You're gonna have to take losses. It's a part of the game. But as long as when you look back in your trade in 2-3 weeks time, you look back at that trade and ticked all your boxes, it was a good trade. As long as you can say that about the trade, then you did the right thing. If you look back in 2-3 weeks and you're like, why on earth did I take that position? Yeah, then you got some work to do. So as long as I can do that and make sure that every time I take a trade, I can look back and say, yeah, this is a good position, then there's not much I can complain about, win, lose, or draw. But yeah, gold's looking good, so definitely keeping a close eye on that. It was a very, very bearish close this morning, but price seems to be looking to recover that. Okay, so we'll go through UJ. Chris, I have a question. How should one trade the daily candle? Also, kindly check USD CAD. Okay. You mean looking to enter on the daily time frame? Again, if you're looking to enter on the daily versus entering on the 15, there's not much difference really. In terms of looking at candlesticks anyway. Of course, the big difference is, there's two big difference. One big difference, of course, is your lot sizes. You're going to have to use a lot lower lot sizes on the daily chart than you would use on the 15. If you're using one lot on the 15, you're probably going to be using 0.2 on the daily, or maybe even 0.1. It really depends on the stop loss and the pair you're trading. Because your stop loss is going to be a lot bigger, a lot more pips there. So you don't want to be trading with huge lot sizes on the daily chart. And then, of course, number two, you don't really have to worry about session timing either, because with the 15, sessions play a big role. You can see clear cycles within sessions when the market's very sideways, when the market's trending, the market's sideways again, when it's trending back down. In the daily chart, there is no sessions. It's just closures, closures, closures. So you want to treat it like every other time frame, really. You want to have a patterns that you're trading, setups that you're trading, that you've tested. But it's effectively the same thing. You just don't have to worry about session timing, really. I would say, though, when you do take a trade, you might want to wait about an hour before you do take the trade. So say, for example, the daily candle just closed. You want to wait an hour for spreads to relax and come back to how they normally are, because you end up taking a trade. You might be quite far away from where the daily candle did close to where you do get placed in the market, because the spread's quite wide during those times. So probably want to wait an hour and then place the trade. But other than that, it's the same thing. Price is price. Okay, so UJ. So yeah, UJ's been a bit tricky. It's looking pretty bearish right now. Again, the plan was start the week looking for a push into the low. It didn't quite happen when we had the breakout. So I was saying, okay, if we are going to break out, let's break above this zone here. Then we can look for some buys above that. That didn't happen either. Looks like price is finding it really difficult to break above the area. So maybe that original bias is going to come into play. In terms of the setup, you probably want to already be in the position. Now is a very awkward time to be looking to enter any sells. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be looking to sell the market now. If the market was to come back up again, so we can get stop loss above the high, that would be useful. Something like that, and then take some shorts back into the low there. We can use that to our advantage. But other than that, I think the trades have already left the station. The ship has left the harbor. You want to be looking to find some entries up here, and then have your stop loss above the high. It is a bit too late. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar yen. I think it's a bit of an awkward pair to trade. I'm not really a big fan of the price action. Not really seeing much in it, really. Still a good chance we can come back into the low there, but I don't really like how price is moving. If you can get a stop loss above the high, you're in a good place, because the market has respected it on numerous occasions. So you would expect price to keep that up. And if you were to break above it anyway, then yeah, you probably were wrong in the bias anyway. So you want to be out of the market. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar yen. If you can respect this, stay below it, then we might see that move back to the swing low and then hit 142. How are the other yen pairs moving? Euro yen is trying to break the low. Not quite. GJ still hovering. CAD yen still hovering. New Zealand yen has broken out already. Aussie yen still hovering. Will it break? Will it hold? I mean, so far it's doing a pretty good job. But yeah, not really interested in the yen pairs for now. Okay, so I'll go through USD CAD. Where was I? Okay, so decent gamer, what is up? Hope you're doing good. Please, have a problem in trading Forex. Please, can you help me? Well, drop the question down and I'll see if I can be of any assistance. USD CAD, okay, we'll take a look. So USD CAD, I don't mind USD CAD. It's actually seen some nice upside. And surprisingly enough, I didn't expect us to get to this area. To be honest, I thought price will have a pullback, but not as big as one to get to this level. But we're not far away. So it's a kind of a similar situation with euro, with pound, where we've seen some nice upside, and I just want to see a bit more. With euro, we've had a nice drop. I just want to see a little bit more to get the buy. Pound, we've had a nice drop. I want to see a little bit more to get the buy. USD CAD, we've had a nice push up. Just want to see a little bit more to get the sell. And again, I'm not looking to take every single one of those because they'll probably all play out or they'll all lose. So the plan is just to take the best one and then sit with that one. I don't mind whether dollar CAD, pound USD, or euro. They all kind of look equally as good. And again, they're all dollar pairs as well. So as long as I get a decent entry, it doesn't really matter which one I trade. Really, maybe CAD might be the dodgy one because we do have a Bank of Canada interest rate decision today. So maybe it's a bit smarter to look at pound and euro. But we'll see. Maybe CAD becomes very weak and that helps dollar CAD push up, which then will give me the opportunity to short it down maybe tomorrow. So who knows? But the technical idea, the technical setup is we're looking for more downside for dollar CAD. If I zoom out to the higher time frame, particularly the weekly chart, you can see we've got a massive range here. Massive resistance around 1.388, massive support down there around 1.323. Not long ago, we had a big rejection of the high, market dump to the downside. So the plan is for USD CAD. I'm expecting a longer term push to the lower end of the range. But for now, it looks like price is taking a bit of a pause, a bit of a breathe on the way down before we do commence with that longer term bearish journey. So if we do see some upside, in my book, it's for price to put that lower high in before continuing down, and we can make our way back to that low. So with me, if you use the CAD, solid break of the low, you can see here really nice resistance in the past, really nice support there as well. I'm looking for that to hold again, and hopefully we can see a push back into that low. Maybe if I'm lucky, I might trail stops back down to that area there. So that's really the plan I have for dollar CAD, which of course is similar to pounds on the push up, similar to euro on the push up as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm after for dollar CAD. We'll be looking for entries on the 4 hour around the 1.36 area. And hopefully I can trail stops and take it back down to 1.325, but baby steps for now, baby steps for now. How we make trading plan Forex? Good question. I do have a video on that actually. Probably could make another one, but I do have a video. If you go to my Forex education playlist, there is a bunch of videos there, and there is a video about how to make a trading plan. In fact, if you search on YouTube how to make a trading plan and then put my name next to it, the video should come up. But there's a few important components of a trading plan you want to have on there. What's up, Lorda? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Welcome. Okay, 3 years. Not really a newbie. 3 years. 3 years. You've probably been. I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but yeah, 3 years is a decent amount. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of the USD pairs. I think Aussie dollar is looking a little bit better now. Yeah, it's gaining some strength. So we'll see how that closes in the next 2 hours. But I could be looking at some longs there for Aussie today. Gold, you keep a very close eye on this one because it's looking even more bullish now. This one's really pushing back up. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Nice wicks there. Might even take an entry a bit early on the hourly. Stop loss underneath. Seeing what we can do back to the high there. And then if I'm lucky, additional entries like that look promising. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing there with gold. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I thought I lost a little bit of hope this morning after seeing that close. I was like, okay, maybe we're going to see the breakout now. Maybe gold's going to keep pushing down. But no, it's recovering pretty well. Of course, I wait for closures though, because there's nothing more deceiving than an open candle, which can fluctuate and print wicks and move around and flip bearish, flip bullish. So I don't want to, judge anything too heavily right now. But it's a nice recovery, especially when it's doing it quite impulsively. We're seeing a forceful move on the lower time frames. That's a nice sign. So what's your recommended top three pairs of the week, if you don't mind being asked? Of course I don't mind. Top three pairs, I would say gold longs, I would say Euro USD longs, and I would say, well, it's between pound USD, dollar CAD, so pound USD longs, dollar CAD shorts. But yeah, I mean, all the pairs I'm really focused on right now are dollar oriented, oriented. The dollar pairs are oriented. Actually, let me just use a different word. Are focused, because I'm butchering that word a lot there. Yen pairs not really focused on, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of how they're moving. So yeah, I've kind of just put these boys to the back of the pile for now. I like your USD longs, pound USD longs there as well. Dollar CAD shorts. Aussie dollar longs look good too if I can give a solid close. And I really like gold there as well. Gold's even pushed even more. Damn. CAD pairs not really looking at, although they'll be interesting to keep an eye on after the CAD news this afternoon. These pairs, USD, pound NSD, I was looking at quite a lot this week, but some unexpected moves have thrown me off a little bit. So I'm taking my time. Euro pound I like as well, but I prefer the dollar pairs. I think it's a bit more of a biased point of view because Euro pound's quite a choppy pair. If I had an option to trade between Euro USD and Euro pound, or Aussie dollar and Euro pound, I would choose Aussie dollar because it's a USD pair, it's a bit cleaner. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Euro pound. And then yeah, CHF pairs I'm not really focused on at all. Yep, that's true. New York can surprise you very, very much so, especially with the news later today. Especially with the news today. Scalpy, what are you looking at on gold for the New York session? I know that you normally kind of wait for New York to arrive and then see what price is doing, and then you make a decision. Do you have any biases going into the session of what you're looking to do, or if you're just taking it easy? It's a nice little reaction there from Aussie CAD on that low. Again, it's just too choppy, this pair. It's just too choppy. If it was a bit cleaner, I might be interested, but price action's been horrendous there. So I'm staying away, at least for now. And CHF pairs are not bad. I like pound CHF if it can break out the consolidation. I like it if it can break out because it's been moving pretty well. It's basically just holding that low very, very firmly. That's your low there. Flipped as resistance, rejecting it very well. It's been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If it can commit to the downside, then that does open up the door to potentially swing back down to the low here, which would be this low here. I'm not too sure if I'll be so optimistic to expect the move to go all that way. But again, you never know if a trail stop loss. If it does push my direction, great. I'll trail and see what happens. Maybe we do see that swing. Maybe we don't. Maybe I walk away for a big win. Maybe I walk away for a small win. It's up to the market to decide that. but a break of the low would be something I'll be interested in. Okay, fair enough. I'd say bias free as you trade what you see, of course, of course. But I'm favoring buys. That being said, if New York presents a nice sell, I'll go short, but trail stop. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's probably the best way to tackle it. I think especially intraday, especially scalping as well, because anything can happen. And with scalping, everything is you're not looking for crazy a big move. Sure, you might trail and see how far you can take it, but the idea is that you're looking to trade the moment, and that moment could be bearish, that moment could be bullish. With a swing outlook, you've got forecasts the way you expect the market to go, and then you're trying to trade that forecast. So you're a bit more kind of, you know, you have that bias and you want to only trade that bias really. But with scalping, you want to trade the moment. It's no good having a bullish bias if the market's going to be bearish, and vice versa, of course. Because if the market's going to be bearish for that hour, that session, then looking to buy it doesn't really add up, really. So yeah, of course, that's the best way to look at it intraday. Okay, I've tripped myself up, missed trades because I've been too heavy set on a bias. Yeah, makes sense. Like you say, because in the 5 minute time frame, a lot can happen between. Yeah, of course, of course, of course. Yeah, I think that bias is a good thing to have, but I feel like it helps high time frame traders more so than lower time frame. I think a bias on the lower time frame is smart as well. Okay, longer term, you're thinking gold will push up, so you know that maybe you're going to be taking more buys and sells, but at the same time, you want to be free enough that okay, if there's a good sell, you're still going to take it because like you just said, a lot can happen in space of just 1 hour candle, and the market doesn't move in straight lines. If the market's going to push up, it doesn't just do that. The market could consolidate, the market can trend bearish, the market could consolidate some more, and then make the move up. And funny enough, you could just be completely wrong with your bias as well, which is the funny thing as well. You might be bullish bias, but the market might start reversing. So you want to be able to take advantage of that as well if it was to happen, and keeping yourself fairly neutral will allow you to do that. But then if you're looking to swing, you kind of want to have that bias because you don't want to be taking trades willy nilly because you're only looking for that move. So yeah, I completely understand that. Tom, just jumping in now, no problem, my man. Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I will be doing a separate stream on Friday, by the way, because of course it's NFP on Friday, so I'll be looking to cover that in a separate stream for NFP. So yeah, just letting people know to not miss out on the fun of NFP. I think last time we did that, NFP did cause a bit of movement. I think the 2 times before that, NFP was just a little bit dead. So yeah, it wasn't the most entertaining of streams. But last month's NFP did cause a bit of movement, so hopefully September can give us some nice moves there as well. I have overall bias from a swing perspective by looking at 15 before trading hours to see what's working within the 5 minutes. So 15 helps determine the short-term bias. Okay, yeah, of course that makes sense because your swing perspective is going to be different between your 15-minute, between your 5 minute, and bias and what you're looking to do. So of course. So you're gonna be and I think that happens a lot because that happens to me as well sometimes where I would have a bias for a pair and then it does blind me from taking the shorts. But the benefit with the high time frames that everything's a bit more slower pace, so there's time for me to switch that bias and then get involved. Whereas in intraday and scalping, if you're not on the ball, you'll miss the position. So you want to kind of be a bit more relaxed. Of course, you can have that bias, and you know that, okay, if you're looking for gold to go up, you can of course have that bias for the higher time frames, but you have to realize that it's a higher time frame bias, not a lower time frame per se. So being able to kind of separate between the two, it's a skill in itself, really. This channel, you're gonna jump to Nick's. No, that will be on my channel. That will be on my channel. I will jump over to Nick's on Thursday, tomorrow, and we'll cover some news there. On Thursday, I think we do have some news there: jobless claims, PMI, CAD PMI as well. So there's some news there on Thursday, which we'll cover and discuss with Nick on Thursday. But yeah, I'll be streaming on my own channel on Friday, covering NFP. At 1:30 UK time. Brilliant stuff. Hopefully I can be in a trade before then. Because the last time I was in a trade for NFP was, I think, July. It was a silver trade. Was it July or June? It was over here. Okay, that was June. That was the last time I was in a trade for NFP. I was long down here. Nice move in my direction. My take profit was, well, not take profit, but where I was looking to expect the market to get to was up here. I think my stop loss was probably trailed around here somewhere. Yeah, I think it was around there. We already had a pretty bearish close coming into the news, and the market just dropped down and took me out of the trade. So yeah, that was my last trade when I was in NFP. So hopefully we can get that ball rolling again, making an interesting stream on Friday with a trade online as well. But we'll see how Aussie dollar closes. It's looking pretty good. We'll see how gold closes. It's looking even better, really. It's really coming up pretty strong there for gold. I like it. How's euro and pound doing? Euro's actually looking a little bit bearish there. Pound, same thing. Dollar's not doing much. Where was I? Okay, Sculpey, remember, although I trade in 5 minutes, I tend to trade the bigger moves in the market. So having swing bias can help when executing on potential big moves in the market. Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, every trade is going to have their kind of unique kind of way to tackle the market. I know because I've seen you have some big positions as well, like the CAD CHF trade last year. That was definitely not a scope. So I suppose you take trades as scalps, and then they potentially could turn into swing trades. I suppose that's kind of how you tackle it. But yeah, you want to have that high time frame bias as well, because it allows you to say, okay, potentially I could hold on to this trade, maybe take some partials, trade a stop loss, however you want to manage it, and maybe take advantage of a really big move if it was to take place, especially for gold as well, because you don't know when gold is going to make that move. Because a lot of us are still waiting for gold to make that big push to the upside. It could happen, the next few days. It might happen the next 2-3 months. Maybe gold's going to kind of be a bit choppy, and then suddenly 1 month is very bullish. So you don't know. You might be in that buy which just keeps going, So having a trail stop loss and giving yourself that opportunity to catch that move can be a really nice weapon to use. So I like that. And of course, with the scalp as well, it means you start with a pretty small stop loss as well. So you could be looking at some really phenomenal risk rewards should it play out. And again, that's kind of the main point of the lower time frame. Well, not the main point. Lower time frames are lower time frames, but if you do have a higher time frame bias and you do drop to the lower time frames, the idea is that you're looking to maximize your risk reward, of course. Ron, why do traders take entries in the MT4 instead of trading view? I think purely because of execution. I mean, in my case, I've always traded at MT4. Literally since I was first introduced into trading, that was on MT4. And to this very day, well, I use MT5 now, but I only switched over to MT5 probably at the start of the year, actually. Yeah, at the start of the year is when I changed over to MT5. Until the start of this year, I've always been using MT4. I think it's a bit more to do with just comfortability, because MT5 is the better platform, and MT5 has been out for a while, but I've just never used MT5. But yeah, I think in terms of execution, MT4 is reliable. Probably wouldn't say it's the best, but it's pretty reliable. Trading view for me has always just been about analysis. I've never really taken any trades on trading view before, so can't really comment on it, to be honest. Actually, no, I have taken some positions when I was using their demo account, their paper trading account. I can't even remember how to access that now. I think this is it here. Maybe I haven't connected to it. But yeah, I've placed a trade before in trading views. It's okay, but I prefer MT4. I've been used to it as well. Do you ever look at the VIX? No, I do not. No, I don't look at the VIX. And the VIX just gives you the volatility of the market, really. I mean, yeah, my understanding of the VIX is not that great either. I'm sure there's better ways to use the VIX, but yeah, in terms of importance and significance, it doesn't really affect me really. In terms of the funding challenge, that's on pause at the moment. Whilst I set my own prop firm up, hopefully I can start that back around end of September. I have placed some 0.01s to keep the account alive. Tizzy caught a buy on gold from 24.76. Nice. Where's your targets for that? You're looking to have some targets, or are you trading a stop? Hopefully I can join you in gold long as well. That's why I trade gold as well, because as we know, when she wants to go, she can blow. Very true. Chris, US 30. Okay, we'll go through that quickly. Ben, yes, MetaTrader will be available. What's up, Dark Sean? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, in terms of US 30, so yeah, US 30 fell off a cliff yesterday. Someone mentioned, I can't remember who, but they're talking about indices being bearish in September, and yeah, definitely bearish in September. I mean, of course, September's still got a long way to go, but for now, it's still looking pretty bearish right now. So yeah, S&P down, US 30 down, Nas down as well. Big moves there. I think for US 30, because we just took out the high there and made some new highs, you know, it's kind of expected to see a bit of retracement. Wasn't expecting so much from S&P. Yesterday, I said for S&P, I want price to pinch the high, and then it will make a bit more sense to make the move. But S&P had other ideas. The fact that it came so close to sell off is a bit funny, to be honest. US 30 making that move, a bit more in line. But yeah, I mean, it's not moving the cleanest market in the world. You can see overall we are pretty corrective here. Oh, let me do that again. We are very corrective here, so maybe it's time to have our next correction back down to the low. I wouldn't be so surprised if we do that. I think for US 30, there's a lot of room should we make that move. In terms of looking to sell, not really seeing much of that. effectively you kind of want to be in the trade already. Maybe if we were to push back to some of these levels here, that could make a bit more sense there for a short. But as we've sold off already, coming back into the lows here, now's not the time to be looking to take some shorts. But there is room if we are going to push down. There is a lot of room. You can see how price is moving there. Possibly to come back and retest the highs there around 40. Ooh, around 40k. It's not a bad move to anticipate there. Something like that could look nice for US 30. S&P double top, yeah, it came back into the high. I was expecting price just to pinch the high though, because there would be a lot of liquidity above the high. So expecting price to pinch the high, then sell off, but nope, it didn't do that. But yeah, it is looking pretty bearish. Weekly chart's looking pretty bearish. I know the week hasn't closed yet, but we are seeing a lot of downside, and that is a pretty solid break of the low of that range there. So shorts could look interesting there off the retest. How far could we go? Not too sure here. I mean, we do have a similar kind of channel at play, but yeah, I wouldn't be too greedy. I think looking at this low here makes a lot of sense for a target around the 5400 level. I mean, that's pretty brave as well. I'll probably watch out for that. So yeah, I mean, it's been really bearish here for the indices. Really bearish. No worries, Sculpey. Have a good one. Okay, drop me a message. I'm in the office for the rest of the afternoon, so chat soon. Okay, no problems, my man. Take care. Have a good one. No problem, Ben. Have a good one as well. So yeah, appreciate everyone coming onto the stream today. As I said, there will be a stream tomorrow, Thursday, as usual. Another stream on Friday as well with a little NFP additional stream there as well. So I hope to see people making some appearances there on the stream. But if the support doesn't hold, fall down like a house of cards, very much could do so that as well. Yeah, I mean there is downside possibility for the indices. I'm still very much long-term bullish bias, at least from a technical aspect. We haven't really changed anything yet. So if we do come back down, I do expect support to form somewhere. But yeah, it's a strong move to the downside yesterday, and probably for the rest of the week, we might see continuations of that. So look out for the downside of things. But anyway, guys, appreciate you guys coming on. Before you do leave, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe on the way out. It does really help out the channel. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Check out Elevating Traders Discord channel. That is linked to the top of the chat. Discount opportunities will be available there close to launch. So make sure you're checking that out so you don't miss out. But guys, appreciate you coming on. Thanks to my moderators as well. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in the next one.